Super Talk 99.7 WTN, Matt Murphy and you. It is 7 minutes after 5 o'clock. Thank you for being a part of our day. We so appreciate you, and I hope to be a positive part of your day. If you're driving home, just getting in your automobile, just fresh off of work, congratulations. You made it to the latter part of the week, right? I mean, you've only got one more day to go for most of you, and then it's we call it a weekend, friend.
Some would call it.
Don't you do it. You know what happens. Look. You've got the mic over there. You can do what you want to do, but little puppy.
That is such a bad sound.
Little Don't do it, Jackson. Don't do it. 8 minutes after the hour now. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 615-737-9986. Cue up John Rose from this morning on Nashville's Morning News with Dan Manis regarding medical marijuana. So, originally, the question was asked. Chris had John in. John's a gubernatorial candidate. He's going up against Marsha Blackburn. There's one other candidate in the race, and I forget whose name that is. Ken had it for Cito something or another. Can't find a lot of information about him. But there was y'all know me in polls, right? But there was a Beacon poll out, and I just asked a question, and people think that this is somehow. I mean, look, you take what I'm about to say about John Rose and medical marijuana, then you take what I said earlier today on social media on the X machine about Marsha, and everybody thinks that I'm against all of the candidates. I'm not against anybody. I'm encouraging you to not be for anyone until 2026 and allow this thing to play out before your eyes and then see where it goes from there. What I asked earlier on the social media front at Matt Murphy Show on X, do you believe this poll reflects reality in Tennessee? And the poll was a Beacon Center of Tennessee poll that is out today that says, in the field before Senator Marsha Blackburn's official announcement, the August Beacon poll asked Tennesseans who they would support in the 2025 GOP primary for governor, Senator Marsha Blackburn or Representative John Rose. Now, I think that's a typo because there is no 2025 gubernatorial election. It's 2026, and in the actual poll it says, although the 2026 Republican primary election for governor of Tennessee is still far off and not all potential candidates have announced their intentions to run, suppose the election were being held today and candidates were Congressman John Rose and Senator Marsha Blackburn, for whom would you vote? For whom would you vote? So you got Blackburn, Rose, or undecided. Young Jackson, have you seen this poll?
What do you think?
I think you have not.
No.
I'm going to ask you to guess what you think the outcome of this poll was. It's a WAG. You know what WAG stands for, Jackson? Wild guess. Wild bleep guess, right? So I want you to take a WAG at the poll. So the poll is, for whom would you vote? Marsha Blackburn, John Rose, or nobody? Who do you think, first off, who do you think won?
I think Marsha in a landslide.
Marsha in a landslide. Give me a percentage for Marsha.
82.
Not quite that decisive. 66% say Marsha Blackburn. To John Rose's 14%, undecided 19%. And I asked the question on social media, I just find it hard to believe that Blackburn, even before announcing, has a 52-point lead. And maybe I'm wrong. I mean, won't be the first time, y'all. I've been wrong plenty. Often wrong, but as my buddy Jay St. Clair says, never in doubt. And I'm not suggesting that this doesn't reflect reality. I'm just asking a question. And that is, do you believe this poll? Some of the responses are as direct as yes. Others say, yeah, if you listen to the Chris Hand show yesterday, Rose tanked his own run in just a few questions. Patriot Punk says, not at all. The overwhelming amount of grassroots voters despise Marsha Blackburn. Chris writes in and says, yes. If someone else jumps into the race, it could change, but the number of people who could change it is a low number. Major Kappa says no. As of now, I vote Rose. My good buddy Steve from Heartland Journal says, yes, name recognition accounts for a lot. Nikki, yes. Mark, no. Or Mark says, I hate that Blackburn is even running. Rose, however, has done absolutely nothing to help his name ID. So early on in the process, and obviously Marsha Blackburn has much better name ID, This morning, so Marsha was on the show yesterday after her announcement, and we appreciate her being on, and I'm certain that she'll be on plenty of times between now and the actual primary. John Rose was on this morning on Nashville's Morning News and was asked to follow up on a question asked of him on the Chris Hand Show, and that was regarding medical marijuana or recreational marijuana in the state of Tennessee. Every poll that I've seen, a pretty substantial majority of Tennesseans are agreeable to medical marijuana in this state. Recreational marijuana is a much tougher sell, especially to those in the General Assembly. I'll leave that for after John Rose's comment. He answered the question this way when asked about medical marijuana. John Rose had gone on further. That was this morning on Dan Mandis's Nashville's Morning News, and good job by Dan asking that follow-up. That was after Chris Hand. I don't know if it was Chris or a caller that asked the question about medical marijuana, but Chris certainly followed up with an excellent question, and that is, let's say hypothetically the General Assembly decides to pass medical marijuana or recreational marijuana, and it gets to your desk, and the vast majority of the people want you to sign it. Would you do it? And he said no. And a lot of people took exception with that you would go against the basic will of the people in that regard. Well, I mean, I understand where some would say, look, I'm just voting my conscience, and I'm doing what my conscience dictates me to do. But here's where I take exception. And I know Congressman Rose, and I like Congressman Rose, and this is not a personal attack on him or his family or anything else. We talked enough about his family last hour. Any suggestion that there has not been large amounts of research on the efficacy of marijuana when it comes to any number of maladies is ludicrous. It's absurd. I've been doing this for 25 years, y'all, and I've been studying this for 25 years, and I had a mother that died after suffering a stroke. It is a little bit personal to me. And I've known people that have suffered debilitating pain that were looking for solutions that did not involve opioids. And they found them in the form of marijuana. I've known people that have sought out illegal marijuana in the state of Alabama, for example. Good people, law-abiding people, who simply wanted to see their mother, their father, their sister, their brother, who oftentimes were in debilitating pain, find some sort of remedy. Now, when John talks about, well, look, if there's any efficacy here, we have ways of extracting it. Oh, you know what that means, y'all? You know what that's code for? That's code for hand it over to the pharmaceutical industry because they're doing everything else so great, aren't they? No. Why should we have to hand everything over to the pharmaceutical industry? By the way, Marinol does not work nearly as effectively from a medical or medicinal standpoint as does the actual plant itself. And I've long said this. I understand why some people are concerned about recreational use of marijuana. I get it. I understand that you don't want to become Colorado or California or all of those things. And I understand that sometimes we, especially from a faith-based perspective, we are led to gravitate away from the concept of marijuana as a drug for use in these types of ways. But may I suggest that maybe we've been doing it wrong for a long time. If you're a faithful person, maybe that's why God put the plant on this earth. Not for its recreational use, but for its medicinal purposes. And we just haven't gotten there scientifically quite yet. Now, I'll tell you a quick story, and I'll take some of your calls. In Alabama, I had a good friend by the name of Dustin Chandler, who was a police officer in Hoover, Alabama. And Dustin came to me with a Democrat lawmaker in 2012. I think it was, maybe it was 2014. I think maybe it was 2014. Because I believe it was an election year. And I think they had an election in 2010, and the Republicans took over in 2010, and they were getting reelected in 2014. I think that's about right. Dustin was a conservative Republican, a police officer, a law-abiding member of society. And he had a little girl who was at the time, I want to say Carly was 5 years old. Carly suffered from a brain malady called CDKL5. You can look it up, CDKL5. It's a rare brain disorder that caused her brain to fire seizures into her body. Carly, at the time that I first met this precious angel, was having as many as 200 seizures a day. Seizures. And Dustin was looking for a remedy. And he thought through his research that he might have found it in what is known as CBD oil. It is an extract from cannabis, marijuana. And he came to me and said, Matt, you know a lot of people down at the legislature. You know a lot of people in this process. I'm trying to get a law passed that would allow my daughter to take CBD oil. And I was having lunch with him and Representative Patricia Todd, like I say, who was a Democrat, who was in the minority. And I said, Dustin, best of luck, buddy, but it's not happening. I said, I appreciate what you're telling me. I appreciate the situation that you're going through. But this is an election year, man. And Alabama is ruby red. You got a lot of Republicans that are trying to get reelected in Alabama in 2014, and there is zero chance in an election year that you're going to get any legislation passed having to do with legalizing marijuana of any kind, whether it's effective or not. That's what I told him. I said, I'll support you in any way I can, because he knew my position on medical marijuana, and it's a long-standing position of mine that I want to see people get treated in a way that is going to best help them. And Dustin said, just help me by promoting my cause and promoting me on the air. And I said, I absolutely 100% will. And I went to work on the air. But Dustin Chandler took off from his job as a police officer. And he put his daughter in his truck every day. And I get teared up thinking about it. And he drove to the state capitol every day from Birmingham to Montgomery. And he walked the halls of that state capitol with his daughter. And he did not ask those lawmakers to tell him no regarding CBD oil. He demanded that they tell his little girl no while she was having seizures. I'm proud to tell you that that law was passed. And they did an efficacy study at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, under the tutelage of neurological scientists at UAB. And they found that CBD oil, and I would encourage John Rose, by the way, to look this up. They found that CBD oil was very effective in mitigating mild, moderate, and severe seizure activity, and that young Carly became a part of a study in the years following the passage of this law that gave very limited ability to allow medical marijuana use in the state of Alabama, and her seizures went from some 200 a day to less than 20 a day. Thanks to the impact and efficacy of CBD oil, which is found in the marijuana plant. I don't say that as an end-all, be-all, or a trump card to anything. I simply use it as an example of what people experience every day. And it's not just seizures. It's chronic pain, it's cancer, it's chemotherapy, it's epilepsy, it is Tourette syndrome, it is Parkinson's disease, it is dementia, it's glaucoma, it's anxiety, it's addiction. I'm telling you, it works. And we don't have to bow before the altar of the pharmaceutical industry in order to see that. And it doesn't mean that we're bowing to recreational marijuana when I suggest to you that I should not have to beg a doctor to give me opioids for my mother because of the extreme pain that she might be going through, when there's a much simpler solution right here in front of us. Mine is not advocacy for marijuana. It's never been. Mine is advocacy for freedom. For freedom. For your freedom to choose your best path when it comes to your treatment. It's 23 after the hour on Super Talk. Looking forward to that. Ken Weaver, Nincompoops in the News on the way as well. I have what might be our first Nincompoop in the News update. I don't think since we've been doing Nincompoops in the News that maybe you did one time, Ken. For some reason, there's something in the back of my mind that indicates that maybe you did. But
Did an update on?
I have a previous Nincompoop in the News.
Son of a biscuit eater.
I think, oh, do you have one too?
Yes.
Is it the same guy?
Probably.
Has he got a lot of tattoos?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, well, maybe it's not. We'll
So
find
let's
out.
take-
Well, here's the great thing, Ken. I get to go first.
I know. Son of a biscuit eater.
Does this have anything to do with the lottery?
No.
Oh, well, then very good. You're fine then.
Good thing I got 2 nincompoops today, just in case.
Uh-huh. I don't know what just in case has to do with any of this, but I got a nincompoop.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
Oh, you hush your mouth. Let me get to, I want to get to, who's been holding the, oh, good gracious. Larry, what's going on, Larry?
Hey, brother, thanks for taking my call.
How you doing, man?
Oh, Brother Larry.
Larry, you doing all right?
Yeah, man, I'm, I've still got a long road to go, but I'm glad to be above the daisies.
I'm glad you are
yes,
too.
sir.
First of all, kudos to John Rose. I don't care about the age difference. When I was 15, I had a 9-month affair with a 38-year-old woman. When I got married at 18, she was 14 years older than me. It lasted 26 years. And then my last and forever last marriage, she was 15 years younger than me. I don't care about all that. I do vehemently disagree with his opinions on medical marijuana. But the reason I called, Matt, I wanted to give you a little ammo to use against Dan.
Well, I could use some of that.
So when I finally got moved up to the 4th floor and could get Wi-Fi, I'm listening to Nashville's morning news on speaker on my phone.
In the
okay?
hospital?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
And the head nurse walks in, bringing me my coffee, and this was like an hour and a half before the cafeteria opened up, so I could actually get breakfast.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So she brings coffee in, which is a gateway to crack cocaine.
100%, yes. We've established. Yeah.
And she says, "Is that Dan Mandis?" And I honestly didn't know whether to tell the truth or lie.
Why would you lie, Larry?
Well, because she's in charge of my drugs.
What? Well, what'd you say?
I said, "Yes, ma'am, it is." And she says, "I love that show, but because of my schedule, I only get to listen maybe once a week. Do you mind if I sit here and listen?" I'm like, "You brought me coffee. You can sit here all damn day long if you want to." So she says, "I love how John keeps his," I won't say that word on air, but I love how John keeps his rear end in check.
I think we all do.
And,
That's awesome.
well, so I send Dan a message, right, from the hospital room.
Uh-huh.
And I told him that, this nurse just came in, and I told him, I said, she just wanted to know if she could sit in. And he says, "Well, I hope she liked the segment." I said, "Dan, she sat through 2 segments. But she also said that she loves how John keeps your, rear end in check."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
His response was, "I love John. Me and John have a great relationship."
That's madness.
And I said, "Once again, you have called her by the wrong name."
Oh, man. Hey, Larry, I got to go. We're way late for the news, but let me tell you something, brother.
I know, brother, but I love y'all.
Love you too, buddy. And I know you're going through some health issues, and we're thinking about you. You're one of my faves, and we're praying for you, buddy.
Yes, sir.
And You nailed Mandis. I mean, I've watched the man write names down of people that he's known for 10 years in the studio. I've watched it happen, and I love him to death. I love John, too. John's great. John keeps me straight. You know who doesn't keep me straight? Ken Weaver, because I'm way late for the news on Super Talk. You ever have one of those days where you're trying to pack it all in, man? I got a lot to say and not a lot of time to get to it. It is 41 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you for being out there. I still haven't gotten to the Afton Bain audio. I always try to call her Afton Ben. It's Afton Bain. I've got that audio. I still have not gotten to why illegal aliens are counted in the census. I have the background on that for you. And maybe, just maybe, we'll get to that in the 6 o'clock hour of the show. In the meantime, a couple of things before we get to Nincompoops, and I'll get to your calls right after Nincompoops. Don't you fear. A lot of conversation on the Super Text line about medical marijuana. Or recreational marijuana, for that matter. I should note that while my focus is on medical, and that's where I'm far more concerned that we're missing out and missing the boat. Several of you have asked me. As a small L libertarian, I believe that you own you. I believe that it is a matter of government control. I believe that government can manage these types of things without making them wholesale illegal. I think that responsible adults have seen fit to act responsibly when it comes to things like alcohol, tobacco, and whatnot for many, many years in this country, and I think they should be able to do that with marijuana as well. You don't have to see a dispensary on every corner. You can regulate. You can manage in a way befitting of the state of Tennessee. It's not a hill that I'm necessarily going to die on because I know many of you disagree with it. You just ask my position, and I offer it to you. That no, I would not have an issue if marijuana was allowed in the state of Tennessee to be used, quote unquote, recreationally. That said, I am told that today is Des Dickerson's 70th birthday.
Happy birthday, Brother Des.
Brother Des Dickerson, how about that? Happy birthday. Now you're 1 year older. Happy birthday, Des. We appreciate you. And somebody else says, Matt Murphy for governor.
Yes, sir.
Woohoo! Pay cut. Why in the heck would I want to be? Not me, man. I got hit the sound of that. I got skeletons. I got big old bones. You want to talk about skeletons in your closet? I got dinosaur bones in there, boy. No. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week. Never.
Can't wait to release my tell-all.
Oh, you need to figure out a title for that book. Just you work on it. You don't have to come up with one now.
Popped it.
You know what I always said if I ever wrote a book, what the title would be?
What's that?
But that's not why I called. Because you hear that a lot when you're doing our job.
However, that's not why I called.
But that's not why I called.
Yes.
Matt Murphy, you suck, and I don't like you very much, and you yell at people too much, and I don't care for that, and I hate your show, and I listen every day, but that's not why I called. It's time for Nincompoops, where we share 3 stories with you, and you get to vote on who you think the Nincompoop of the day is. Somehow, some way, I managed to be the winner yesterday, and so I get to go first. Today, we have an update. Can I get an update sounder? Can I get the update alert? Please. Thank you. We have an update from a previous Nincompoop. We told you about this fella who is from Kentucky, who was living out his time in Florida, who won $167.3 million in the Powerball jackpot. And this guy, he had like a laundry list of criminal charges against him.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he's still down there in Florida, and he's on bond in Florida for something that he did in Florida before they can extradite him back to Kentucky to face charges up there. Y'all with me so far? So he's out on bond, still a millionaire. I mean, they still let him keep his money. Well, the individual by the name of James Farthing was at a local lobby bar of a Florida resort bragging about his financial windfall. As he walked into the bar wearing only a pair of shorts and sneakers, the heavily tattooed James Farthing yelled loudly to everyone in the bar, "I'm a millionaire! I'm a millionaire!" According to Kevin Rushing, a 48-year-old Idaho resident who was down in Florida vacationing at the Trade Winds Resort, he said he was screaming about all of these lottery winnings, and nobody seemed to really care. But what followed was a melee. that resulted in felony and misdemeanor charges being filed against Farthing, a career criminal ex-con who's now one of the Bluegrass State's wealthiest men. The incident was captured on police body cam video. Officers called into the resort in response to the unruly behavior of Farthing and his girlfriend. The guy with the tats was basically trying to fight every single person in the bar, according to the deputy. This guy came in acting like he was a bleep hole. I'm just saying. Screaming, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. That was a cop, by the way, saying that. Called him an a-hole.
Yeah.
But he said it. After being called out, Farthing allegedly punched Rushing in the face. The two men were grappling on the floor when Deputy Nicholas Aristoco rushed in to separate the two. As the cop was detaining Rushing, Farthing got to his feet and attempted to kick Rushing in the head. Instead, he struck the police officer in the face.
Oops.
Oh,
It's not good.
can't do that.
The police officer subsequently drew his taser and demanded that Farthing put your hands behind your back right the bleep now and get against the bleeping wall.
Cease and desist.
That's exactly what Farthing did. Well, no, he didn't. He made a run for the exit.
Did he get tased? Tell me he got tased.
The police officer, Aristotle, fired 3 taser darts, one of which struck Farthing in the back. Deputy Mike Harris then executed a flawless form tackle on Farthing, who was bloodied when his face hit the floor. You see, I have him, and you walk up and you bleep and kick him, and then you kick me in the bleeping face, the police officer told Farthing on body cam video. Farthing laying face down in blood with no shirt on, with just shorts and shoes and all of his tats. Millionaire himself said, "I'm sorry, man." To which the police officer said something that I think we can all identify with.
Yes.
Save your bleeping sorries for later. He's now facing multiple criminal charges in Florida, and then he'll be extradited to Kentucky, where he faces charges there, too. Farthing's got a lot of money. He's a millionaire. He's a millionaire.
And he just keeps messing up.
He's a millionaire. He's charged with a June 25th criminal conviction of battery on a law enforcement officer and a lot of other things. I can't take up the rest of the hour telling you how much he's charged with. But
How long is he going to jail?
He's going to go to jail for a long, long time. You might want to, I don't know, you might want to reach out and become his best buddy. You might want to,
Little pen pal action?
get a little money out of that deal, you know? Never know what could happen. Jackson, you want to go next?
Yes, 1 second. All right. Florida man arrested after shining laser at sheriff's office helicopter says he was just being silly. This is out of Ocala, Florida. A Florida man arrested for apparently aiming a green laser at a sheriff's office helicopter, claiming he was simply just being silly. The Marion County Sheriff's Office said that their aviation unit was doing a security check in the area of Southwest 154th Lane Road when a green laser beam reportedly struck their helicopter at 2 a.m. According to MCSO, the laser beam obscured the pilot's vision while flying the Air 1. The report states that in response, the crew utilizes the helicopter's forward-looking infrared camera to find the suspect and ended up discovering Adam Santiago Lugo in his driveway equipped with binoculars and a laser pointer. Deputies on the ground responded to Santiago Lugo's location as he continued to aim the laser at the helicopter.
What a moron.
When a
We're
deputy,
just funning.
yeah, just being silly.
having
Just
a
having a
good
silly,
time.
goofy time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Guys being dudes.
We're cranking. We're just cranking.
just having fun. Don't
Yeah.
say that into a microphone.
What, cranking?
Let's just not say we're just cranking into the microphone.
I don't know. Oh, did I say something wrong? Oh, my goodness. I got to look that up in the Urban Dictionary. Go ahead,
That's
please.
right.
During questioning, deputies said that Santiago Lugo explained his actions, claiming he was just being silly out of boredom. Authorities reported seizing the laser pointer, binoculars, and a flashlight as evidence. What are you doing, bud?
What does just cranking mean?
What does cranking mean, slang?
Oh, that's better. That's a better one. Just cranking.
Oh.
Oh, it refers to the act of engaging the starter motor to turn over an engine, usually in an attempt to start it.
That's not it, Matt.
No?
Nope,
Ken,
it's-
do you have something differently?
Yes, sir, I
Uh-huh.
do.
What do
It
you
says, in slang, cranking can mean several things, but most commonly it refers to being excited or high on drugs, particularly methamphetamine.
I stand by the comment. Ken,
Yes, sir.
you're a nincompoop, sir.
All right, well, we're going back to Kentucky for this one, boys, and I do believe this fellow was one of our subjects back in June.
Another update. Can I get an update horn, please, from you? Another nincompoop update. 2 out of 3.
Murray Police in Kentucky on approximately 5 p.m. on August 6th, a sergeant with the Murray Police Department was patrolling the south side when he observed a male completely naked outside of his home. According to Murray PD, the sergeant noticed that the man, identified as 57-year-old Charles Maupin, also known as Charles Harding, was engaged in a sexual act outside and completely visible to the public. As the sergeant got out of his vehicle, Maupin retreated into his residence, which Murray PD states he refused to exit for some time. Eventually, he came out and was arrested. Maupin was charged with second-degree indecent exposure and resisting arrest. According to Murray PD, this is the 4th time that he's been charged with second-degree indecent exposure in the past 4 months. The last one was in June.
Boy can't keep his drawers on.
How does he keep getting out? Like, after 4...
Out of his britches or?
Well, I mean, like, don't you go to jail for that, right?
I don't know anymore, Ken. I mean, honestly, I don't. I mean, back in our day, yeah, you would go to jail. You would have to go into jail, and you'd have to be in jail for a while.
I believe you would be.
Nowadays, I don't know. I mean, do they just let you out on your own recognizances? Give you an orange jumpsuit, tell you to keep that handy?
I would tell him that I would put him in a jumpsuit which he can't get out of.
Yeah, he's got something going on upstairs.
Yeah,
Maybe he's just hot.
yeah, could
Maybe.
be.
I don't know.
It is summer.
It is hot. Where was this at?
This is in Murray, Kentucky.
It's hot up there in Kentucky. It's steamy, sticky.
Yeah,
Sticky in Kentucky.
probably about like it is here.
Yeah. I mean, it can get sticky around here. I mean, you want to pull your shirt off, pull your shoes off, pull your britches off. That's how you play. It's 53 after the hour. We call that Nincompoops in the News. You get to participate by dialing up 615-737-9986 and saying Ken Weaver or Jackson or Matt Murphy. Who's your fave of the day? Susie, John, Mike, John. Don't go anywhere. I'm getting to every single one of you in just a moment. You're my most important focus. It's coming up next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.